Hello dear students, I am Ubaidul Haq and my nickname is Kayes. I am a lecturer in English, Barahar School and College. Dear students, we have a very important topic in our class of Hsc Intermediate first paper, and that is understanding poetry or writing down the themes of the poems. Most of the students of present age have limited capacity in understanding poems because literature has a very little to do with our present syllabus. We don't have the capacity to do with poems in details. So, in our short-term activities, we have been included in understanding poetry and writing down the themes of the poems in intermediate level English first paper, and topic is understanding poetry. Here you have to visualize something. You see that I have drawn a picture in front of you to make you understand, to be easy, so that you can understand something. The very essence of poetry is to visualize the entire theme or entire materials firsthand. So whenever you want to understand a poet, you have to think about the presentation of the poem. The imagery, imagery, the word imagery. This word is very much important when you want to try to understand a particular poem. Today, our poem is Ozymandias. Ozymandias. Perhaps most of you or many of you know the name of the poem, the title. It is written by Percy Bysshe Shelley, P.B. Shelley in short. He was a very famous romantic poet. So, Ozymandias. You have to visualize the drawn picture here. You see, this is a desert. And here is a pedestal and a half body, half shattered, half lost body with two legs, trunkless legs. And here you see pyramids or hills or mountains, and this is a very desolate place. There is nobody around or beside here. It's a completely lonely and completely isolated place in this world. So, what you see? You see a particular statue. Statue? It was made of stone and it's huge in size. But with the passage of time, it has been broken down into pieces. You see, here is the head, you see here is the part of the body, and you here see just two legs. There is no body, no trunk, no head, nothing. And it has been sunk in the sands of the desert. There is only sands and his lost face or the head. And another part of the body is here. You cannot identify the entire statue in order. So, what do you understand here? Let's read out loud the poem. We have to first read it loud. A traveler was walking in the desert. You imagine yourself as a traveler, just a traveler in the desert. You are traveling in the desert. So what he saw, as I show you the picture or the drawn picture here, the same visualization you have to take in mind. So what is that? The traveler saying, or the poet saying, I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled leaf and sneer of cold command tell that ill sculptor well those passions read, who is yet survived, stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal, this is the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of kings. Look on my works, look on my works. Yea, mighty and despair. Nothing beside remains, there is nothing beside that. Round the decay, time after time, of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. So dear students, you have to visualize a very important thing. We have a very great drama here, very metaphoric event here, a situational and verbal irony here. And what is that? This is the pedestal, and there are some important words here sculpted by the sculptor. What is that? My name is Ozymandias. His name was Ozymandias. You know who is Ozymandias? Ozymandias was a king, great king of Egypt, and his religious name is Pharaoh. Pharaoh. In Arabic literature we say Pharaoh, but they say Pharaoh, and English literature said Ozymandias. They say Pharaoh. So he was a great Pharaoh in the time of Moses the prophet. He was a very great leader and great king, and his sculpture was just standing here in the desert beside the palaces, pyramids, etc. But now, after many years, we see that nothing remains of that vast artwork. It's a great artwork. You only see that the entire statue has been broken down, and his head is in the sands, and his body is in the sands, and his pedestal is standing bare in an isolated desert. There is nobody around him, nothing around him. Everything has been sunk in the ruins of time. So what do you understand? The greatness of the king, the might of the king, the great historical leader of the people of Egypt. His name was Ozymandias, or Ramesses II, according to P.V. Shelley. A traveler was going there, and he found that nothing remains except sands and deserts and isolation. So what is the theme of the poem? First, what is your duty? You have to read it aloud 4 or 3 times. Then you have to understand the title and the motto of the writer. Your very first work is to trying to understand the motto or intention of the writer. Second, you have to go through the lines to understand the different words, hard words or simple words or special figurative words, to understand what the poet exactly wanted to convey through his poem. So after that, you have to try to understand metaphoric, allegorical and symbolic languages. He said, look at my works, a mighty and despair. It's very easy to understand that the king was very much proud of his power, and he was very mighty and powerful in that time. He was a great king, but with the passage of time, his statue has been shattered and broken down into pieces and sunk in the desert. Nobody knows who and where he is now, and no power of his remains. His pomp and glory has been lost, has been ruined with the passage of time. So what we understand as a theme is not like something summary. You should not understand it as a summary, because theme is not a summary, but the actual motivation or the idea or concept or context of a particular poem or a piece of poetry. So what is the theme here? We can make it as such. In this mortal world, nothing is permanent and nothing is for forever. Everything shatters, everything dies out in time. So once a powerful king, now is nothing, just like a broken statue in the desert. So we have power, we have money, we have glory, we have anything, but with the passage of time they will become just like these ruins. So this is the ultimate failure of our power, and this is the ultimate result of our power, pomp and glory. So dear students, this is how we understand poems, and you have a very important topic in your syllabus, understanding poetry. So from now on, you must read all the poem or the piece of poetry, so that you can understand the themes and context of the poems very easily and with sheer understanding capacity. Okay, see you in next class. Thank you all.